Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Top Tier Talk for November 15th. Hope you had a good weekend and have a big week planned. As usual, just have a couple of things we wanted to talk about. The first one, obviously, our live webinar is this Wednesday. We do expect our members to support the webinar, both by showing up themselves, but probably more importantly, by inviting people to attend the webinar and, hopefully work the webinar to make money. So bless you. So to, make sure, hold on, somebody's Skyping me. What is that? Link isn't working for me. Huh. Somebody's saying that the Zoom link that I put in the Skype room isn't working. Let me hold on. Sorry about this. Edit.
I just admitted somebody.
Oh, so somebody did make it. Was it Sherry?
No, Frank.
Oh, okay, so maybe it did work, but maybe that link was bad. Try this. All right. Hopefully that works. Sorry about that. Yeah. So make sure you invite people. We recommend sending out at least 2, ideally 3 emails to your list, inviting them to the webinar. If you're somebody who's talking to prospects or that texts with prospects, invite them that way. You can also register them yourself as long as you're talking with them and you tell them that you're going to register them. Don't just go through your list and start registering people. There's no point in that. They won't show up. Yeah, and a bonus reminder, okay, I honestly can't remember if we talked about this in the last webinar or not, but just as a reminder, part of the bonus that we're offering in the live webinar, not on the page 74 webinar, but in the live webinar, we're including free advertising to hopefully, entice more people to get started with us or with you. So it's like this: if you start at the senior consultant level, okay, so they're paying you $3,500. Okay, you're going to essentially give them a rebate of $250 in order to kickstart their business and use that money towards advertising. If they get started at the pro level, okay, for $6,500, which means that's what they're paying you, okay, you're going to rebate them $500. You can also accept the money and then buy them advertising, okay, but that $500 is going to go towards advertising in order to help them start generating leads and kickstart their business. Hopefully that makes sense. Back to, yeah, Craigslist, not sure if it's just getting more responses lately or what the deal is, but we've had a couple of new members place their first, couple of ads and just get a remarkable, at least upfront response, right? No sales yet, but that doesn't happen that quickly typically anyway. But, there's not going to be any sales made until you generate leads. So, that's kind of how it goes. So I know, I think John has a new guy that was just sending them straight to the website. So do you know what capture page he was using, John?
The one that's the normal, was it 150 something? The one that goes to the sales page?
Well, there's like 5 capture pages to go to the sales
Well,
page.
whatever the one is that's on the training site, I think it says. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's just a regular looking one.
You can say you don't know. Let's see if he just filled out, he went through the fast start. I don't know what one we tell him to use in the fast start. Let's see.
It's
154.
Yeah.
That's
I knew it was
probably what he's using. Let's see what 154.
Then it goes to the sales page, middle thing, and then it goes to the 74 webinar page.
154. Oh, this is our 4-minute video that me and Mike Dupuy put together. That's a very cool video.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that converted way better than it had been. So that's good to.
So that
good to know.
154 goes to the sales page, right?
Well, everything ultimately goes to the sales page.
Right.
Yeah, I think it goes straight to 74.
No, what I meant is I thought it goes to that interim page with the how it works sales page that you revamped, and then it goes to the.
Okay, let's see. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
At least mine does. Maybe I'm not using 154. I don't know.
154 goes straight to the webinar page, page
okay.
74.
Right.
So, like we've talked about, that's one way to advertise on Craigslist, is to send people direct to the webinar, and then, or main sales page, whatever you want to call page 74, and that will educate them on the opportunity, and it's their responsibility to schedule an appointment with you or give you a call or, send you an email, whatever the case is, to get their questions answered. But they already see how much it costs, they already see what the business is, and they can make a decision for themselves if they like it or not before they schedule an appointment. The other way to do it, we've talked about this last week and maybe even alluded to it 2 weeks ago, I think, was using the appointment funnel or using 800 link to kind of, I guess you could call it pre-screening, but more than that, it's building a little bit of rapport with the prospect before you send them to the website that's going to tell them how much it costs and what the business is. And, obviously price scares some people off. That's part of the deal. But so there's 2 ways to do it. Okay, so John's guy generated all those leads, sending people direct to the website, and now, hopefully they're going to book an appointment or give them a call. I think if he gets phone numbers from that capture page, he can also then follow up with those leads, on the phone to be a little proactive. The more proactive you are, the less leads you have to generate in order to make a sale. Okay.
Yeah, out of the 18 leads he's got, I was very surprised that 12 of them actually left legitimate phone numbers. So now I'm having him call those guys up. And out of those 18 leads, only 1 or 2 have done nothing. They're already getting their autoresponder emails and things, and they're opening them up. And he's got some people that have a score of 7 or 10 or 12. So those are the ones that I'm having them call right away.
Yeah, I will say that it seems like the emails from our marketing system are hitting the inbox at a higher rate lately for some reason too, which is a good thing. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the spam. You don't want to be in the spam box where people don't see your emails for the most part. You want to be in the inbox where people see your emails. And it seems like they're hitting the inbox lately. I don't know why, but I'm happy. So anyway, the way this guy I'm working with is doing it is using 800 link. So he's not using the appointment funnel. He's using 800 link to kind of pre-qualify his leads, using a voicemail message that I recommend testing out. I am going to test it out, and I'm not a big 800 link user personally. I've had it for 10 years, but I prefer to use websites and that type of thing because that's how I like to buy stuff personally. But if something works, I am more than willing to give it a shot. So essentially this 800 link message, and I'll put a link to this in the Skype room, tells them a little, doesn't tell them anything about the business, tells them how much they can make. You're going to need to edit this a little bit if you do use this because these are things personal to me. I have my name in here. It basically says people in this business opportunity can make $2,000 a day. In fact, I've personally made as much as $20,000 in a single day. Now that's true. If it's not true for you, obviously you're going to change that. Please grab a pen because I'll be giving you a web address to write down. Then we say the reason why you called this line and are listening to the call right now is because you're looking for a way to make more money. And most likely you think outside the box and understand that traditional jobs will not get you where you want to go. Okay, I kind of added that. So I tweaked the original script a little bit. What we have is an opportunity for you to make unlimited income. It's truly up to you how much you want to make, right? So that's enticing to salespeople. We have a short recorded webinar for you to watch. You can make $10,000 a month. Go to this website, right? So it is sending them direct to the website like we were just talking about. And honestly, I would use that. I would use that page if it's converting that well. Register to watch the video that explains everything. That's our webinar at page 74, okay? You'll have immediate access to the bonuses, so don't hesitate. So there's a little enticement to get them to opt in. I have another special bonus for you. Leave your name, number, and email address. You'll instantly qualify for this one. So this gets them to leave a message. And, the guy who turned me on to this message, he placed one ad. He got 13 leads that obviously we don't know who did it, but they opted in to his capture page and they left him a voicemail message. So he got to talk to all of them. He talked to 12 out of the 13. And, and they opted into the system as well. So, I mean, it's like, kind of brilliant. It's pretty simple, but, if it's going to work that well, and it probably won't work that well all the time, so don't expect that. But, the fact that it worked that well is very encouraging. And to be able to get opt-ins, I'm a big fan of. And then voicemail messages, which I know John is a big fan of, that's a win-win. So yeah, I recommend trying it out. Maybe I'll record a generic recording for the team, but right now, if you want to use this, you're going to have to record your own message. And I'll put a link to this. Do it right now, actually. Link to this in the Skype room. Here's the script. Oh. Alrighty then. Do we have any questions about that before we move forward?
So you just have to record your own message in your own voice. You can go to 800 link and there's a step-by-step procedure if you're brand new on how you can record that message. I would suggest, like Steve said, take that printed message, put it in a Word doc or something, tweak it, change it, edit it as you see fit, and then have it in front of you, and then go to 800 link, log in and record your message as many times as is necessary for you to get it right and sounding good, and put it in your 800 link number. And I guess so the way he was doing it, he didn't even have an option for the appointment funnel, just 800 link, right?
In the ad?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, just 800 link. Yep.
I suppose you still could put the option in there, but might be better to just have them have one option.
What I found is if I give two options, I give them an 800 link option or a phone number to call option and a capture page option. I literally don't get any messages ever.
Yeah, they go to the capture page.
Yep. So it depends what you want. If you want them to go to your capture page, which I typically do, it doesn't hurt to leave the number in there because they don't call it,
Right.
But if you want those voicemail messages, do not put a link to a capture page because you're not going to get any voicemail messages, is my experience anyway.
Yeah.
All righty. Moving right along, I'm going to throw this to you, John. The fortune's in the follow-up.
Right. This is a famous phrase in network marketing and sales. And here's a little stat sheet on why this is important. Some people get into this business, take out a Craigslist ad, and they get all excited and they get a few leads. call them up once, get a voice message, leave a couple messages, don't get a call back, then they get discouraged, they don't follow up. Or maybe they did interview him and send him to the website. The guy never showed to the website because you didn't get a message saying he did, and get discouraged and don't follow up. Or maybe you just had a three-way call with one of our leaders, answered questions, and the guy said he had to think it over, and you never heard from him again because you didn't follow up. The fortunes in the follow-up is very, very important. And here's why. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So imagine somebody walks in the door of a dealership and the salesman says, "Can I help you?" "Yeah, looking around, trading my car in, and I'm looking for this model car." And he talks to him. Maybe they even do a test drive. 2% of those people are probably going to buy on that first contact. Usually it's coming in, tire kicking, talk to the sales rep, ask a few questions, come back, he goes in your pipeline. So 3% of all sales are made on the second contact. So you can see that 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of the sales are made on the fourth contact. So what can we glean from this? Well, 4 contacts is not going to really raise your percentage of sales, which is income in our business, right? We're not selling cars, we're selling memberships to make money and train people on e-commerce, etc. But notice the big jump. Whoops, what happened?
Sorry about that.
Oh,
I put it in full screen.
Notice the big jump that happens from the 4th to anywhere between 5 and 12 contacts. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th. That should really make you take heed and go, well, that's interesting. So you should want to make anywhere between 5 and 12 contacts in our system. Our system is defined as generating a lead, sending them to the website to get educated, and then having a follow-up call with one of our leaders to answer their questions. So that's only 3 touches if that's all you did, a touch meaning a contact. So you're going to want to follow up by email, you want to follow up by text. You had a 3-way call, and the guy might say, let me talk over with my wife. You're going to want to call back. Is there any questions? And the guy might finally say, well, she shot it down. Hey, well, why don't you get her on the phone, have her talk with me, because you guys might be missing out. In other words, you're interacting, establishing more and more rapport, and the number of contacts is going up. And you'd be surprised when you start getting into the 5, 6, 7, up to 12 range, all of a sudden you're starting to make sales. So a lot of people are missing out on sales because they never get into this range. They're in the first 2, 3, 4, 5% range, and they're possibly wasting other sales. And remember, there's competition out there. So if you're not following up, we're not the only business model and the options out there. So somebody else may be following up, doing a better job and closing your prospect for you because you just didn't really follow it up. Now, maybe you didn't know this technology of following up, or maybe you're lazy, maybe you're shy, whatever the case is, you do want to get it. So the other stats below there are 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. So you're in the 2 to 3% chances of success range. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and still stop. So you're still in the lower realms of percentages of sales. 12% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. So you got to get up to the 80% to get into the area where you can have more consistent sales, because almost anybody that does this business would like to have consistent income, which would mean at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 sales a month. You don't want just 1 every 3 months, and that's what you're going to get into if you stay in that low area. You may not even get any sales unless you just keep generating lots and lots and lots of leads. And that might be the only way that you could stay in a small percentage area, to just generate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads. And that's a problem unto itself, because Craigslist alone is not that scalable. So you'd have to buy leads and call leads and do all kinds of different ways to generate leads.
Oops. Yeah, and why I switched over here. Now I guess I'm gonna have to log into my account. I mean, obviously we have a built-in follow-up system with our here. With our system, these are called autoresponder emails.
And that counts as a contact, but only if they opened up that email. You have to go look.
I said, I am going to log into my account because I want to show you where you can find this. I've had people asking me recently, like, where do I see the autoresponder emails? Log into my account here. Yeah, so you just scroll down to your control panel, manage. It's a weird terminology. I'm going to see if I can change that actually. Manage auto response. Supposed to say manage autoresponders. Anyway, these are the messages, and they go out for 72 days. So there is a good follow-up system in place here, and you can click on each one to see, how it's going to read, right? So they're personalized as best we can with a generic follow-up email. Okay?
And they do count as one of those contacts, but only if they open it up. And so you have to go into that contact and you have to see, is he opening up these emails? If he's opened up 5 of them, that could count as 5 contacts,
Right. Yep. Yeah. We knew that Fortune's in the follow-up. So we do have this email follow-up system that's, really a huge selling point for people that understand sales and know that follow-up is important. But I just wanted to show you that. So following up is super, super important. And I know that, think about yourself, whenever you make a major purchase, like a car or something where you're going to think about it, you're not just walking into a store and buying something. You probably end up buying from the person that follows up with you.
Especially if he follows up in a very personable, not telemarketer way, like I'll be sitting around and thinking, geez, I wonder if Brian talked to his wife. And so rather than invade his space and bother him, a couple of days go by, I haven't heard from him, I might send a very benign text. Hey, Brian, was thinking about you and your wife. How did it go? Let me know. That's a contact. And he may come back and say, hey, she shot me down. But that's still a contact that I made with him. And then I'd say, hey, let's talk a little bit later. I have an idea. And he goes, okay. And then maybe we talk. I've taken sales that were dead in the water and becalmed and had 4 or 5 communications with somebody. And next thing you know, the sale comes around. That sale would have never been a sale, would have been a lost sale to somebody else.
Yep, that's a really good point. I remember when I was buying a car, this is a few years ago now, but the one sale, I first went to one dealership, and for whatever reason, I didn't like it. I forget why, but went to another dealership, which maybe was bigger. I think it was a smaller dealership. That was why I went to a bigger one that was kind of newer and just made me feel better or whatever. But the sales guy from the first dealership, he was calling me like every day, and it was so annoying. Like his messages were just, there was no way I was going to buy from that guy. If he told me the car was like $10, I probably wouldn't have bought it. He was just infuriating me. So you want to follow up, and he was probably following these statistics to the T, but he was so bad at it that it probably worked against him. So like John was saying, don't be annoying. You got to follow up, but there are ways to do it that are a little more subtle. And, and it can take practice and it can take experience to get really good at it. But yeah, you don't want to just, you don't want to be that annoying salesperson.
Yeah, just think about how you would want to be handled or contacted. If you felt the guy that was contacting you, we already know the game. You already know he's trying to make a sale, and he knows you know that. That's a given. So now it's just a matter of grease and manners and rapport, because if he starts thinking that wow, this guy really sort of does care about me. He wants to get me into a good car. And he checks in with me every once in a while, and he seems to know a little bit more about my life. Hey, how'd it go with your wife? Um, and then you respond, and then he comes back with a human response. Yeah, that happens a lot. Hey, I got an idea. Give me now you're being human and you're talking back and forth and you got a conversation rather than when he feels that you're just a number to him and a sales, and you're just, like this whole Medicare enrollment thing that goes on now. I'm on some list and these people are calling me from all over the country and talking about Medicare and enrollment, driving me up a wall. I'd rather not have insurance after this.
I know what you mean. I did that with health insurance a couple of years ago, not Medicare, but regular health insurance. And now that's a little different because it's not the same person that keeps calling you. It's
right.
I assume, it's different people from
right
all over the place. They get your lead and they start to, and they just inundate you like, really, really, really bad.
Anything that's high ticket, you have to have some TLC,
And you have to follow up at the same token because
exactly
people are not, we're not selling a stick of gum. Just people are going to take their time when they make a decision.
And one of your follow-ups could be a deal. Hey, it's I didn't know if you knew this, if you're not getting some of my emails, but the holiday season's coming up. Give me a buzz because I may be able to help you get in, save a few bucks. And next thing you know, that's a contact.
Yep. You can reiterate this too, because just because we do it in a live webinar doesn't mean everybody in the country is seeing this. Most of them are not. Let's face it. So tell them about this too. But again, I think about yourself. And what entices you to ultimately buy something. I mean, people like sales, people like deals, right? I don't think I ever buy anything that's a big ticket item that's not part of a sale.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not I'm getting a good deal, I never know. But but I feel like I'm getting a good deal, and that's important. So yeah, make people feel like they're getting a good deal.
Yeah, I've even had people try to negotiate with me. I actually like it when they do that because I go, oh, this guy's got some courage and he's got some creativity. He could probably do well in this business. Remember, it is your business. So if you want to offer, if you want to offer him an extra $500 and give him a rebate, and it's up to you. It's your business. You just can't be selling. You can't be selling our memberships in a too low of a way, but you can do make other offers to them.
Yep. Upgrades as long as you're qualified.
This is a funny side story, but one of my best friends who's extremely wealthy and lives in Pennsylvania, he loves cars. He's got 5 very expensive cars. And so he has this Porsche convertible muscle car that he just bought literally 5 months ago, but he's been having trouble with it, and Porsche has not been servicing him, and he's not happy, and he always pays cash for his car. So he used to have a Ferrari, and so he started looking around for Ferraris, and he found one in Long Island, a brand new 2021 Ferrari 8, which is one of the top Ferraris. It's about 400 grand, and his Porsche was about 200 some grand. So this is a funny story, but it's related. So he talked to the guy, and they made him an offer. He thought about it for a few days. So he went back. He goes, I got nothing to lose. This is a very big ticket item. So he says, well, I'll tell you what, I'm in Pennsylvania. If you pick up my Porsche and deliver the Ferrari and knock off 40 grand, you got a cash deal. And he said, I thought the guy was going to call me up and tell me to take a flying leap. And he called me up and said, you're on. So, he just saved 40 grand and probably another 5 grand and travel. But the moral of the story is, like Steve just said, everybody likes and wants a deal. When they feel, I remember when I was network marketing, this one trainer said, prospects close themselves. It's called the invisible close. You don't really close them, they close themselves. Well, when do they close themselves? As soon as they feel like they are getting the better end of this transaction, then they buy. So that's why deals make them think that way. Maybe they aren't even getting the better end of the deal, but the point is they think they are, whether they are or not. And at that point, that invisible close happens and they close themselves. They might even talk to their other significant happen, say, hey, guess what? I was talking to John and we can get the double upgrade with the no qualification. That's amazing. Closes himself. So deals, 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 and contacts, contacts, and contacts. That's the way you do well in these types of businesses, in my opinion.
Totally agree. Tim, any questions before we wrap up here with the bottom of the hour? Alrighty then. Well, let's pack the webinar. If you get people to show up to the webinar, and you can't, just by inviting people doesn't guarantee people are going to show up. But if they do, there's a really good chance that we'll close them for you. So,
yeah, that's another contact, remember. All right, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Have a great week.